Good evening, dear students. Today we are going to learn one more poem. The name of the poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Dear friends, what is meant by woods? Woods means forest. And what is meant by snowy evening? Snowy evening means the evening on which there is snowfall. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening means poet is traveling in the forest and he is traveling at night, at evening time. When he is traveling at that time, there is snowfall in the forest. This poem is written by Robert Lee Frost. Robert Lee Frost was born in 1874 and he is dead in 1963. Was an American poet. He was an American poet, means he is from America. He is highly regarded for his realistic depictions of rural life. He is highly regarded. He is highly regarded means he is very famous for his realistic depictions. Depict means draw the picture of life, and realistic means real, related to real life of rural life. Rural means rustic or village life. In all his writing or in all his poems, he writes about village life in America and his command of American colloquial speech. Colloquial means informal, speech means language, and he has command over informal language which is spoken in rural area, in rustic area of America. He is one of the most popular and critically respected American poets of the 20th century. He is one of the most popular, he is very famous and critically respected American poets of the 20th century. He is critically appreciated. It means that critics also respect him. Critics also had reverence for him because of his writing, because of his talent. He received 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. He has written many poems and his poems have got 4 Pulitzer Prizes, 4 Pulitzer Award. In this poem, the poet describes a little incident happening in a snowy evening. In this poem, poet has told us his experience, and that experience took place on one evening, and on that evening there was snowfall. As we have rainfall in America and England, there is snowfall. Snow was falling there. As a traveler, the poet is fascinated by the beautiful scenes in the woods. As a traveler, poet was traveling, he was doing journey through the forest and is fascinated means attracted by the beautiful scenes in the woods. When he was traveling in the forest, when he was doing journey through the forest, at one place there was very beautiful scene and poet is attracted, fascinated, he is enchanted by that scene and he stops there. As a traveler, the poet is fascinated by the beautiful scenes in the woods. He stops to enjoy, but his mind urges him to go on. He stops there to enjoy the scene, to enjoy the beauty of nature. But his mind reminds him that you cannot stop there more time, because if you will stop there for more time, or if you will spend more time there, then you will not be able to reach your destination. That's why you should go ahead. Now we are going to start our poem. The first stanza. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Whose woods these are, I think I know. And in the first stanza, poet is speaking to himself. When he stops there and he watches that beautiful scene, he says that I know whose farm it is, whose land it is. His house is in the village dome. Poet says that I am familiar with the owner of that land. I am familiar with the owner, with the master of that forest. And he says, I know the house of the owner of that land is in village. That man lives in village. He will not see me stopping here. And now I have stopped here and I am enjoying the beauty of his farm. I am enjoying the scene in his farm, and that fellow, that person will not be able to see me. He will not see me that I have stopped here in his farm and I am looking in his farm. I am enjoying the scene which is in his farm, to watch his woods fill up with snow. And poet says that his woods, his forest, his land, or that area was filled up with snow. There were many green colored trees in the farm, and all the trees were covered by white colored snow, and the scene was looking very beautiful. The scene was fascinating to poet, and poet was enjoying the beauty of the nature there at night, at evening time. Now we will see second stanza. My little horse must think it cure to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. My little horse must think it cure. Poet was traveling on the horse, and poet says that my little horse must think it cure. Cure means strange, unfamiliar, or odd. His horse may be thinking, why my master has stopped here? Is there some problem? What's the matter? To stop without a farmhouse near. When generally we are traveling and we stop at some place, there is some shelter, or if there is some farmhouse on the side of the road, we stop there because there are people, we can talk with them, we can ask them about the way. But there was no farmhouse, there was nothing. Then why my master had stopped there? The horse was thinking about it. Between the woods and frozen lake, poet had stopped at place where one side there was the woods and to another side there was frozen lake. One side there was deep forest, there was thick forest, dense forest, and to other side there was frozen lake. Frozen lake means the water in the lake, the water in the pond had transformed into ice. The water had changed into ice. The darkest evening of the year, and poet says that that was the darkest evening of the year. Means on that night there was no moon in the sky, there were no stars in the sky, and that's why there was darkness, pitch darkness, there was deep darkness. We can see nothing in dark nights. Now third stanza, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. He gives his harness bells. Harness bells means bells tied in the neck of a horse to control it. Bells are tied in the neck of the horse to control it. He gives his harness bells a shake. Shake means move. He moves his neck, and when he moves his neck, the bell which was in his neck, it rings, it makes noise. He shakes his neck to ask his master, my dear master, is there any problem? Is there any calamity? Is there any hurdle in our way? Why we have stopped here? To ask if there is some mistake. The horse wanted to ask to his master, my dear master, is there any mistake? What has gone wrong? Why we have stopped here? The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. And there was the sound of the bell of the horse, and there was another sound, the wind was blowing very fast in the forest. There was the sound of the wind and downy flake. Downy flake means snowfall. Ice was falling, and it also was making noise. Now the last stanza, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The woods means forest, are lovely. Lovely means beautiful, dark and deep, so enchanting. Poet says that the forest was lovely, the forest was enchanting, the forest was fascinating. It was very lovely forest, beautiful scene. But I have promises to keep. But poet says that I cannot spend more time there because I have promises to keep. I have promises to keep means I have to do my duties. I have to do my duties. I have to do my deeds. I have to do my works. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. And poet says that I have go far away in life, means poet here wants to say that our lifespan is very small, our life is short, and in this short life we have to do many deeds, many duties. So we cannot stop at some place, though the place is beautiful. If we will stop at some place, then we will not be able to do our all duties, our all deeds in life. Here poet wants to say that if we have to live our life fully, then we should always walk, or we should always go ahead. As river flows, and river has to go and meet the sea, in the same way when we take birth we have to travel and we have to meet death. But before meeting death we have to do many deeds in our life, and so we should always walk in life, we should never stop. And though there are some beautiful scenes, they may attract us, they may fascinate us, and they may try to make us stop, but we should neglect them and we should go ahead, because our life is short and we have to do many deeds in our life. Thank you, dear students. Here ends our poem. I would like to say you that this video is very useful for you. It will help you to study. It will help you to understand the poem. It will help you to know the meaning of the poem. If you like this video, like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.